All right, let's just jump right in. Today, we're going to tackle an idea that flips one of the most basic assumptions about our economy right on its head. I mean, we all think we know what taxes are for, right? To pay for things like roads and schools. But what if that's not their most important job at all? What if they do something much, much bigger? Here it is. This is the big idea from political economist Richard Murphy. Just let that sink in for a second. Taxes are there to reprice things. He argues that for a government that issues its own currency, it doesn't really need your tax dollars to fund its spending. So if that's the case, what are taxes actually doing? Well, according to Murphy, their real power is to change the price of things in our economy. That's a huge statement, I know. And it brings up a massive question. What does it even mean to reprice something? And why on earth would we want to do that? To get to the bottom of this, we first have to understand what a price really is. And trust me, it's more than just a number on a tag. I want you to think of prices as the nervous system for the entire global economy. Seriously. They are constantly sending these little messages, zipping around, coordinating the actions of billions of people, all without some central command center telling everyone what to do. It's pretty amazing when you think about it. And that message has a name. It's called a price signal. So let's say the price of coffee suddenly shoots up. That sends a signal to coffee drinkers to maybe, cut back a little. At the same time, it sends a signal to coffee farmers that, hey, the world wants more beans. And the wild part is nobody needs to know why the price went up. The price itself carries all the information everyone needs to react. The brilliant economist Friedrich Hayek actually broke this down into 4 key jobs. First, prices carry information. Second, they give us incentives to do something with that information. Third, they ration things, making sure scarce stuff goes where it's valued most. And fourth, they coordinate mind-bogglingly complex systems, like getting a coffee bean from a mountain in Colombia all the way into your morning cup. It's this incredible self-organizing dance. But what happens when that beautiful, elegant system gets it wrong? What if the messages that prices are sending are actually lies? Well, that's where we run into a huge problem, and it's something economists call market failure. To get this, we've got to look at 2 different kinds of value. On one hand, you have use value. It's simple. What is something actually for? A house provides shelter. That's its use. But then you have exchange value. This is its market price, what you can get for it in cash. That same house is now a financial asset. The real trouble starts when these 2 values get completely out of whack. And here's the bottom line. Market failure is what happens when the market price, that exchange value, is totally disconnected from the real-world impact and usefulness, the use value. The price signal starts telling a lie about what something is truly worth or what it truly costs society as a whole. There's a technical term for these lies, externalities. These are all the side effects that don't get included in the price tag. A classic example, the price of gasoline. It doesn't include the long-term cost of air pollution or climate change, so the price signal is lying. It's telling us the gas is way cheaper than it really is for all of us. And that faulty signal encourages us to pollute more. Okay, so if our prices are sending out these faulty signals and leading to all sorts of bad outcomes, what do? How do we fix them? This is where we circle right back to that bombshell idea from the beginning. We can use taxes, not to raise money, but as a tool to correct these signals and make them finally tell the truth. And look, if we're going to start using taxes to fix these signals, we can't just be throwing darts at a board. We need a plan, a framework. And that's where this idea comes in, the price signal steering methodology. It's a systematic way to redesign the incentives that run our world. It's a pretty straightforward 4-step process. First, you diagnose the problem. Pinpoint exactly what lie the price is telling. Second, you design the fix, usually by tweaking an existing tax to keep things simple. Third, and this is so important, you make sure the solution is just. You don't want to unfairly punish one group of people. And finally, you implement it carefully, ready to learn and adjust as you go. All right, I know that sounds a little abstract, so let's make it super concrete. Let's look at a real-world example, how we tax forests. So right now, in a lot of places, the property tax you pay on a forest is the same whether you manage it sustainably for the long haul or you just clear-cut the whole thing for a quick buck. Think about the message that sends. The price signal is basically shrugging and saying, we don't care how you manage the forest. It ends up rewarding the short-term profit because there's no financial benefit for being a good steward. That is a classic broken signal. So here's the fix. It's so elegant. We just change the tax structure. Under this new model, if you clear cut, you pay a higher tax rate, a penalty. But if you practice sustainable forestry, you get a lower tax rate, a reward. Instantly, the signal is completely different. It's now loud and clear. Ecological damage is going to cost you, but good stewardship is actually profitable. We have repriced the activity itself to line up financial incentives with ecological health. Once you start seeing taxes this way, it really is more than just a little policy idea. It's a completely new way of looking at the world. It's about realizing we actually have the tools to consciously design the signals that guide our entire economy. So let's just quickly recap the big takeaways here. Taxes aren't just about revenue. They're a powerful steering wheel. Prices are the signals that tell everyone where to go. When those signals lie because of things like externalities, we get big problems. But, and this is the hopeful part, we can systematically fix those signals using smart, thoughtful tax policy. And that's what this is all about in the end, agency. We don't have to just accept a market that accidentally rewards destructive behavior. By being smart and deliberate about changing these price signals, we can actually harness the incredible power of the market and aim it toward the future we all say we want, one that's more sustainable and more just. And that really leaves us with one final huge question. We've seen how this can work for forests, but this lens can be applied everywhere. What about the price of junk food? Does it reflect the future healthcare costs? What about the price of fast fashion or carbon emissions? Once you see taxes as this powerful tool for fixing signals, you start seeing faulty signals everywhere. And the biggest question becomes, what do we choose to fix next?